this is Mrs. Ross and this is lesson 79, practice set and starred problems. Okay, so this is kind of weird because it's strange areas. So hang with me. But let's look at figure A. It says figure A shows a map with a square kilometer grid and the outline of a lake. Estimate the area of the lake. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to count whole squares. So let's see. That's a whole square. That's a whole square. That's about a whole square. That's a whole square. That's a whole square. That's a whole square. So all of these little red squares we're going to count as whole. So how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'm going to say we have 11 whole squares. And then we have some partial squares. So let's just, how about some half squares? And let me change, oops. Let me change colors so you can see, differentiate between the half square and the, I don't really want it to look like Christmas. Can we look at purple? Okay. So let's say this is about a half square. Half. Half. That's less than half. 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 So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have about 6. Which 6 half squares, if I divide that by 2 equals 3 whole squares. So total, plus 3, I have 14 squares. Okay, that's kind of how we're doing this areas, by counting whole and half squares. So figure B shows a square with radius 2 centimeters. So a square with sides of 2 centimeters. Oh, that's this one. Here. This is 2 centimeters, and here is 2 centimeters. Estimate the area of the circle. Now, we have a formula for area of a circle, but we haven't hit that lesson yet. So we can't use it. We're going to use our whole and half squares to find the area. So let's see. So we have whole square, whole square, whole square, whole square. This is mostly a whole square. These are mostly whole. I would say these are mostly whole, and these are. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have 12 whole squares. And then if I'm going to change, kind of flip-flopping my colors here, and do half, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 half squares, which gives me 2 whole. So I have 12 plus 2, which is 14. The area of the circle is about how many times the area of the square. So the area of the square is going to be length times width, which is 2 times 2, which is 4. And it's asking how many times the area. So that's really how many times 4 goes into 14. And it's an estimate. So 4 goes into 14 about 3 times. So I would say that the area of the circle is 3 times the area of the square. Okay. A circle with radius of, these are star problems, by the way, has an area of about how many square inches? So it has a radius of 1 inch. Radius of 1 inch. So if the radius is equal to 1 inch, and my area is pi times radius squared, that's how I would find that. I mean, I know we're supposed to shade this, but truly, honestly, you'll never do that. You'll use this always if you want to write that down. Okay, we have inequalities. Cool. So let me just draw a number line really quick. And -1, -2, -3. And I'm going to choose, I think I can choose a highlighter. Oops. Highlighter. Oh, good. So this says x is less than 1. Oh, hold up. I need another. Here we go. No, I don't want the highlighter. I want the pen. Okay. So I know that this... I need a different color. There we go. So that's an open circle there because there's no equal sign, and then this arrow points in the direction that we highlight. So there we go. And then over here, let me make my number line purple. 1, 2, -1, -2. And let me grab. So this says that it's x is greater than or equal to. So because we have the equal to, we're going to fill that dot in. And then this arrow points in that direction, so we start at the dot and go that way. Okay, number 7. And remember, guys, why don't you go ahead and pause the video and see if you can't figure this one out for yourself. And then if you get the same answer, great, skip on to the next one. If you don't, go ahead and watch how I've done it. So it says use, remember you can pause this and work it out. Use the case 1, case 2 ratio box to solve this problem. So we have inches and hours. 4 inches of snow, oh my gosh, fell in 3 hours today. At what rate and how long would it take for 1 foot? Now remember, this is inches, so I have to make sure my units are still in inches. How long would it take for 1 foot to fall? So then we cross multiply, or I'm sorry, ratio box proportion cross multiply. Oops, that's supposed to be a 3. So we have 4x is equal to 36. So it would take 9 hours. Okay, oh boy. Alright, go ahead and pause the video and try to do these on your own on a sheet of paper or something, and then come back and see if you've got them right, okay? So you can pause it right now. 35 is 70% of what number? So I'm going to write this 70%, which is 70 per 100. And then we're going to do our is over of. So is goes with 35. Of goes with what number? We don't know. So now we have our proportion. Let's go ahead and cross multiply. 3,500 is equal to 70x. I think it's 50, but I'm not sure. I was right. Okay. Alright, let me change colors. Okay, this is what percent. So whenever we see what percent, we know that's x over 100, right? Because percent is per 100. Of 20 is 17. Right, my is over of. 17 goes here, 20 goes here, cross multiply. I have 1700 is equal to 20x. Divide. So that is, where's my thing? 85%. Okay, and go ahead and change colors. This says what percent, so I'm going to do this down here. What percent? X over 100 is an of. So here of is 20. Is 25. 25. 20. So now we're going to cross multiply. 2,500 is equal to 20x. Divide. X is equal to 125. So that's 125%. And that is perfectly fine. Some kids get kind of freaked out if it's above 100%. Okay, let's do this last one on this page. 360 is 75%, so 75 per 100 of what number? Okay, so I know that my of is x, and 360 is my is. Cross multiply, divide. I get 480 for that. Okay, let's go on to the next page. Okay, so this is like the one that we did before. Go ahead and pause it and see if you can't do this one on your own, and come back and check your answer. So what we have to do is we have to popcorn this. So we get 2 times 62, which is 124 plus 1, so 125. 125 over 2 divided by 100 over 1. So this is keep, change, flip. So we have 125 over 2, change the divide to multiply, flip. 125 over 200. Let's divide by 25, shall we? I get 5. Oh, I lost my cursor again. Where's my little dot? There it is. 5 over 8. Okay. Let me change colors. See if we can't get this one. It says that the sheet of paper had an area of 100 inches square. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to do a square root of this to get what the original side is. And the square root of 100 is 10. So these original sides are 10. It says, what is the name for this geometric figure? So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. It's a pentagon. The perimeter, well, we add all the sides up. So we have 7 plus 5 plus 6 plus 10 plus 10. And that is 38. And then it asks for area. So what I'm going to do for area is I'm going to go ahead and take the original area of the square, which is length times width, which it tells me was originally 100. Okay, and I'm going to subtract out that triangle that you see. Base times height. Okay, so let's see what we have. This side is 6, and this side is 12, so this is 10 minus 6, which is 4. And that'll be our height. And then this side is 7 and this side is 10, so this is 10 minus 7, which is 3, and that'll be our base. So we have 1/2, 3 times 4, which is equal to 1/2, 12, which is 6. Now we have to subtract that from 100, because that triangle is not really there. And that's going to give us 94. Okay, so this we're going to divide. Don't worry about the checking part. So I get x is equal to 2.88 divided by 1.2, 2.4. And then this one we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. Times 2, 10 times 3. I get 18 over 30 divided by 6. Okay, and I'm going to have to come back and do 24. So I'll see you in part 2.